I don't know if that's true. We're gonna find out. They're already just growing. They did not die. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia, and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. I've literally been out here all day, y'all. I went in the house to eat. I went to pick up my daughter from school. I went to my local feed and seed today. I picked up a flat, and then I had to go back to get 3 more for sales. Y'all, it's getting cold. The wind is blowing, but I am still working. It's just like, am I gonna pick up the camera to record while I'm working? For sure gonna show y'all after I get it done. Also gonna come out when the sun is still up because it's cold outside. Anyway, what did I get done today? So I did not put my yellow green stalk back in the garden. For the fall, that's gonna stay over here, but let me show you. So I put it back over here. You know this is gonna be garlic. So right now I have it covered with straw. Somebody asked me what is my garlic bed covered with. It's straw. It's just like I guess really fine cut straw. This is the same thing that's in the quick tent garlic bed where I have garlic planted. So that's what it is, it's straw. I put it back up. Everything I put back up because I'm ready to not have to be out here doing stuff I already don't want to do, like, you know, reassembling a green stalk. So we put that back up over here. Oh, also today, as a way to fill in where the onions and the leeks and the shallots are dying, I put some pretty little pansies in there because I was like, oh, I don't have any flowers because remember, my snapdragons died because I didn't take care of them. So I don't have any flowers. And I also put pansies over here in the herb green stalk. So see where we were missing a few herb essentially because that's what's supposed to be in here. I just did a placeholder of pansies because pansies can grow, you know, all the way through the winter. They do not mind the cold at all. But see over here where we have the leeks, if a leek had died, I put a pretty little pansy in there. By the way, I ordered some garlic from Mary's Heirloom, Botanical Interest. That might be it. I still have the garlic in the refrigerator from my local feed and seed. So that's what I'm gonna put into the yellow green stalk after our first frost. So we will have some, you know, by the way, I looked at my planting chart from my local feed and seed. It said I could start planting garlic in September. So I'm gonna see how this works. It says September through, I wanna say December the 1st. So I might be okay with when I planted my garlic. I know most people plant it later. My local feed and seed chart said I could start in September. And I did it anyway before I even knew that. I happened to look at that this weekend because I'm gonna show you what I did in the lilac green stalk because just about everything in that green stalk had died, y'all. All right, so black green stalk, I was like, oh girl, you should have did a whole thing of purple pansies in this one. It would have been so pretty, but we only got like 3 because it's shallots everywhere else in this. So we did get all of these planted out. There is not a spot open, and y'all know that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for that at the beginning of October, and honest truth, it was like that. Let me get out the sign. However, a lot of the things died because the starts were not the best starts. I hadn't really taken care of them. Anyway, everything is planted out. I'm super excited. Also, adding a little more color, I put some pansies over here in the lavender bed, and you still got that nasturtium. So that should be a little bit of color out here. That's pretty. At least I think that is pretty, y'all. Oh, by the way, somebody mentioned that the moringa is not gonna last through the freeze. I know, but I tried putting it in the, in the greenhouse last year. It still died, so I'm just gonna let it die and I could just start it again next year. I do know that that's not gonna make it through the freeze though. Now I got this done over the weekend. I went ahead and staked all of this broccoli on this side. Well, actually, all of the broccoli for the most part is staked because remember we had already done these. So the broccoli is staked now so that I can get through this walkway. See, now I have a better path through the walkway and I can still go through there if I want to. Oh, other thing. I pulled the purple sprouting broccoli over here since I wasn't going to put the green stalk back in hopes that we can actually get some broccoli off of these plants. I went ahead and put the purple sprouting broccoli here because I do want that too. And if you remember, it was over on the other side of the carrot bed. And so I will show you what I did over there too. Somebody going to be like, girl, no. But we're going to try it anyway. So yeah, purple sprouting broccoli here. I'm very hopeful to get a harvest of that. The way way that purple sprouting broccoli works is it grows over the fall and the winter, and then I should get purple sprouting broccoli in the spring. And so that is what I'm hoping for. And I was like, I want to put it somewhere where it can get more sun so I can actually get that harvest. So I did that too. And so the lilac green stalk. I sowed seeds. So this row right here, not all of it is seeds. I'm gonna show you what I did though. Oh, the other thing I realized is I didn't have cabbage in any of my green stalks, I don't believe. And if you remember, my whole reasoning for trying to plant all of them is to see what does well during the fall and the winter in my area. And if it does well, I'm gonna use the green stalks as my fall garden and let my actual main garden rest. So that's the whole thing. I realized I didn't have any cabbage in here, so I added some cabbage. So this is cabbage, this is broccoli, and so on and so forth. They alternate off. Down here, I went ahead and planted my sister's bok choy from seed, and then I realized I also didn't have carrots. So you got carrots, bok choy, carrots, bok choy. So that's what we're gonna see if carrots will grow in here, and I'm pretty sure bok choy will. It's a leafy green. And then I went ahead and put my spinach in because I don't have spinach anywhere in the garden, and I actually do like spinach uncooked. I don't need it cooked, but I like it raw. And then at the bottom, it's mostly lettuce and broccoli. Oh, and there's kohlrabi around here too. And then, oh, by the way, the broccoli that I planted in the bags with the tomatoes, it didn't do well. But that could have been because it was shaded. Also, remember, I wasn't taking care of the tomatoes. So if I wasn't watering the tomatoes, then the broccoli wasn't getting watered either. Now, they did not die. So those, I took them out of the bags and I put them in this green stock. Might they die now though? It is possible. But even if they die, we just gonna have spots with nothing in them because I think I'm done with all of this planting. I think I'm done, y'all. Also, the tomatoes were just leaning everywhere, falling everywhere. So I just took and put a piece of string and doubled it up. And then I attached this actual stake to the string. So now everything is standing up. I think by the time we get our first frost that either they will have ripened or I will have pulled them, because I almost pulled them this weekend. But I was like, that is a waste of your time if you pull those without knowing if they'll ripen if you plant them in July. So I did not pull them, y'all, and it's a whole bunch of them on here. Like, it's a whole bunch of them on here. And again, if they don't ripen, we'll just make fried green tomatoes out of them because I like fried green tomatoes. So if they don't ripen, it's not a big deal. But I almost pulled every last one of those tomatoes over the weekend, and I was like, no, there was a whole reason why you planted those tomatoes. Okay. So I told you that I was going to show you what I did over here. And if you think it's not going to work, that's fine. Also, I have a lot more branches. So I know one of the things people may say is I should have it in less soil, which, you know, maybe I should, but I ain't taking this in the house. I'm not putting it in the greenhouse to not take care of it. Anyway, what is this? These are actually blueberry cuttings. So I took some blueberry cuttings off of the blue. Now, this is huge. Actually, this was the one that was growing like really tall on that blueberry bush right there. And I just didn't want it to be that tall in front of everything else because my son comes from this way. So I cut it off. And when I did that, it dawned on me. I was like, you could root that. So that is what I did. I moistened this soil really well. I actually had 4 empty bags. 3 of them were back here, which I was not planting anyway because they would have just really gotten shaded. So 3 of them were back there. This one was right at the entrance of the garden. It had the watermelon in it. So this is blueberry cuttings. I feel like as long as I keep them moist, they should start rooting. I don't know if that's true. We're going to find out. And then over here, now these don't look good right now because I have not watered them. Like I literally just stuck them in here. These are elderberry cuttings. So I need to water those really good, but the blueberry ones look good. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to grow 2 more elderberries and some more blueberries. Now, should I maybe take those inside of a greenhouse or inside of the house? I probably should. Might I end up doing it later on in the year if I really see I need to? I probably will. But both of these things are perennial in my area. So if they root and get a good root system by the time, you know, our real frost in January comes, they should still survive. So with that being said, that's what I'm doing. I did that today too. And just really out of the blue, I was like, I'm gonna try that since I cut it anyway, because it was really tall right here and just sticking up, and I never wanted my blueberries to be tall. I always wanted them to be shorter, so I cut it because that's what I do when I'm out here doing stuff by myself. Oh, also the zinnias are gone, y'all. But let me show you what I did to the Roselle, because I realized leaving the Roselle on the fence, it was not getting as much sun as it could have. So the zinnias are gone. You can see I took those. Now I did keep the heads because I'm gonna keep the seeds, but I picked that Roselle up off of the fence and I just used the same stakes that was holding up the zinnias. I just have the Roselle loosely tied to it so that when the wind blows, it still doesn't fall off. And I actually tied it from like way at the bottom and went all the way up the plant. So we shouldn't have a problem with the Roselle falling over again. And you can see we got flowers dying. We got flowers blooming. Oh, in this bed, I put some granulated fertilizer in it. I put some of the manure from the chicken area in it. And then I covered it with some straw. And then I watered it in really well. After I watered it in, I went ahead and gave it a fertilizing with the all-purpose fertilizer in hopes that maybe they will flower a little bit more and grow some bigger calyxes. I don't know. I just decided to give it a try because we are literally getting down to the last minute. But that's a huge bush, y'all. I don't believe I've ever had a Roselle that got that big. Like, remember I used to grow the 3 back here, but I think, of course, some of the nutrients was being fought over. So it looked like a big bush, but it was like 3 of them. This is literally 1 bush. That thing is nice size and it's growing in the bed with the elderberry too. And like I said, there were zinnias in here and it still got that big. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. We also pulled out the basil. Now all you have in the bags are the broccoli. Oh, by the way, I actually had some Godzilla broccoli. So this is the greenhouse one is not the only one and I'm excited. But you can also tell that the one in the greenhouse is not getting something, and I think it's light because this is a Godzilla broccoli. I'll show you the one in the greenhouse before we leave off of this video. But also there were some that didn't make it. So when I went to my local feed and seed, I picked up some. This is Destiny broccoli. So now we have 4 or 5 different broccoli varieties. But yeah, this whole row is just broccoli now. We have taken out all of the basil. I think it's an important time for me now to focus on the fall things. And so that's why I pulled out the basil, because that was a summer plant that was gonna die anyway. They also weren't looking that good. So I was like, we might as well just give these broccoli plants all of the nutrients that's in the soil, and hopefully we can get a harvest off of them before January. So these are our other broccoli plants. Remember I told you that I think it was a shading thing? So I think once I took those Trombosino and Dipper gourd plants off, I think that we'll see better growth out of these. These 2 did not make it. These were so the 3 I just showed you, these 2 and the one I just showed you are the only ones that didn't make it in the bag with the basil. So this is also Destiny broccoli. And y'all, this whole bed has broccoli heads. This whole bed does. I'm excited. And you don't even have to really peel back the leaves. They're already just growing. These are green magic broccoli. I am 100% excited about that. That's really all I did today. I'm gonna go show you this Godzilla broccoli that's in the greenhouse. Oh, I started fertilizing, got tired, decided I'd finish it up later on. You know, it is what it is. I didn't feel like it, so I didn't. But the fall garden is pretty much, we planted, y'all. Now we just wait for harvest. It's a kohlrabi over there that most definitely is ready for harvest. I'm probably gonna harvest it between, this week or next week. But let me show y'all real quick. This is also a Godzilla broccoli, but what you might also notice that is growing more. If you remember, I said I needed to water better in here. And so I've been watering better in here. I've also been making sure that I fertilize in here. So I think this whole bed is starting to look better. So I'm excited to see that. And now I know I really need to be paying attention to my watering and fertilizing in the greenhouse. And this right here is our Katarina that was small and stunted. I've started watering like way more in here. And when I say way more, I'm watering like every 2 to 3 days. Before that, I wasn't doing that. For some reason, I just assumed that it was maybe staying moist in here because the sun wasn't beaming down, but I think it was the actual opposite. It was staying drier in here. And the sun is still not beaming down. I don't know, y'all. But at any rate, the fall garden is planted out. I'm paying attention to my watering. I'm paying attention to my fertilizing. And yeah, that's gonna be that for this video. Very short video, just me wanting to show you what I got done today. And I feel like I made good progress today, honestly. But also, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.